All right, guys. Hey, thanks everybody for jumping on the call today. We got David Nelson, Rhonda, everybody. We're going to be walking through a bunch of the different training aspects, and David's going to take over and walk us through what's on the agenda for today. David, thanks for being on the call today, man.
You bet. Thanks. Thanks, guys, for jumping on. I know you guys are busy and you're out there in your territories, and some are getting started, so it's exciting to start to hear some results and whatnot. One thing that we wanted to accomplish on this call is just some of the things that are going on out there and what you're seeing, what you're running into. We haven't had a chance to kind of role play. One of the things that was really good for me when I first started was just making sure that I had everything down that I needed to do, and I always practice role playing. So I always think this is a very important training tool for all of us, especially when we're getting started. So if everybody could just maybe mute their phones, if they're on their phones, or mute, if we could get everybody on mute. And then what we're planning on doing is trying to keep this between a half an hour and 45 minutes and have about 10 to 15 minutes of questions and answers at the end, so that we can get through this and go through the role play and not just have interruptions and whatnot during it. So I've got Rhonda Top on here, who obviously is one of our main trainers and has had a lot of success going out there and getting great deals. And we've talked about it a lot with this group, that she's really someone to lean on, and she does a great job with what she's been doing. What we wanted to do today is we wanted to just kind of separate this role-playing session, we can call it Role-Playing 101, into three different parts. You have the introduction, the presentation, and the closing. So we're kind of going to do a start-stop style of role-playing where, we'll start, we'll go through some things, we'll stop, we'll kind of explain some things, so that it's not just a go through from top to bottom role-playing session. We want to just be able to go through and point out some things that are happening and what she is doing. I'm going to play the merchant, and Rhonda's going to obviously play herself. And so we're just going to start out with the intro, and there's three different intros that we're gonna identify here, and these are probably the most common that you're going to see or you're going to run into. And a lot of you guys that have been out there in the field already have probably run into some of these. You're going into the merchants that you know, that's great, but like Bob just said, what happens when you're starting from scratch and you're going into the contacts of the merchants that you don't know? You have no idea who owns that business, who manages it. You might even be walking in there for the very first time. So by now, you should have their target list ready to go. We talked about that last week with creating that target list. Got some great ideas from a couple of the guys that I've talked to this week with creating that. Eric has done a great job with creating his target list based on his area and how he wants to separate that out. And that's kind of up to you guys as far as how you want to separate that. Designating the area that you're going to start with first. Identifying the businesses by going online and researching your area. Thomas out in Madison shared a really good idea with me, and I've recognized this company for a long time. They've been in the fundraising business for years and years and years, but Entertainment Book, you probably all have an Entertainment Book in your area. I would encourage maybe for you to go out and purchase one of those. In Sioux Falls, we don't have Entertainment Book. We have a local version of that, and that's our main competitor, and that's one of the researching tools that we've used to go after merchants, and it's actually working really well for us because we're able to sell against it. So Entertainment does do some mobile, so you'll be able to maybe even look at what they're doing in areas with mobile. So I thought that was a great idea from Thomas, so I appreciate you sharing that. So at this point, we've created that target list. Now, that first day that you're going out, you know where you're going, and you have that daily activity scorecard in your planner. So Rhonda and I are going to start out with the first introduction, and what we're going to start out with is walking into the store. When you walk in there, and this is what we're going to get. This is the first objection or the first introduction that we're going to get is The manager's not there at this time. So Rhonda, we're going to get ready to roll this first role play. Again, I'm going to play the merchant, and Rhonda's going to play the salesperson.
Perfect. I'm walking in and I'm coming up to the counter. Hi, my name is Rhonda. Can you tell me, is there a manager or an owner in by chance?
She's actually not in today. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Can you tell me when she'll be back? Maybe later today or tomorrow?
She has today off. She's going to be in probably Wednesday.
Perfect. I tell you what, I'll be back on Wednesday, but meantime, what is her name?
My name's Jennifer.
And what is the manager's name?
His name is Ron.
Ron, perfect. By chance, do you have a card?
We do not. He doesn't have a business card laying around here, but he's going to be in, like I said, probably Wednesday around 2 o'clock.
Wednesday at 2. Perfect. I will be back Wednesday at 2. Thank you.
Okay, great. So that's just one of those scenarios where you're walking in and you're going to get, either the hostess or the server or somebody that, is at the front basically going to greet you. And you're going to run into that a lot where they're not in at that moment. Okay, so that's intro number one, just basic, information, getting the business card, getting the contact person's name, when they're going to be in, and again, you're writing this stuff down in your daily activity scorecard so that you have access to that information.
And I was going to say, that's why at this time, I just take their name because honestly, I don't need their email address at this first, meeting and finding out who I want to talk to, because honestly, I don't know for sure Ron is going to be the person to make that decision, but now I know when I walk in on Wednesday, I'm asking for Ron.
Right, exactly. And that's your goal is to leave with something, whether it's a business card or it's what she just collected, and that was his name and when he was going to be in next. Okay, so not the ideal situation, but this is probably what you're going to run into a lot. So we want to make sure that we're at least walking out of there with the information that we want. We don't want to walk out there with nothing. So the next scenario is going to be when you walk into someone into a restaurant, you're greeting them, telling them who you are, asking for the owner or manager, and you get that gatekeeper. And sometimes these people can be really, really great, and they're going to be 100% helpful. But then sometimes you're going to get that one or two that is just like wondering what you're doing there, and thinking that they own the place and they really don't. So this situation is when Rhonda comes in, she asks for the owner or manager. They either are not in, or yes, they are in, but they're busy right now, and they ask that question, what is this about? So we're going to play this scenario out.
Yes, hi. Okay, my name is Rhonda. I'm with NEXX Solutions. Actually, we work with local merchants, businesses, and nonprofits in our area. We're rolling out a mobile app promoting local merchants with exclusive deals in our community, and it's going to be giving back to the schools, nonprofits, employee benefit programs, and some customer rewards. It doesn't cost anything to be on it, and right now I'm close to 100 local deals, which is awesome. Are you the person that I want to talk to about this?
Actually, I'm not. I'm just the assistant manager.
Okay, I see. If you don't mind, what is the manager's name?
Well, his name is Jeff, but he's really busy right now. Can I tell him? Can you leave something, or can I tell him what this is about?
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm with NEXX Solutions, and honestly, it's just easier for me to stop back in. So maybe I'll come back after lunch. Is he here in the afternoon?
He's usually in, between 2 and 5 on Wednesdays. So that's kind of his go-to day. So that's when he generally comes in. But if you want to leave some information, I'd be happy to give it to him.
Absolutely. I'll leave you my business card today. But like I said, I'm going to be back in the area. A lot of times I'm with merchants all day long, so I don't really get back to those calls as they come in during the day. So I'll be back, though, on Wednesday, somewhere between 2 and 5. Here's my card if you just want to let him know that I stopped in, and I'll be back.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, so that is obviously a scenario where, you know, you get that, like I said, that gatekeeper is going to maybe ask some questions about what this is about, and you know, you want to leave some information as another scenario that you're going to run into. Like, you know, if you want to just leave some stuff, I'll make sure that he gets it. And the reason why we don't, you know, necessarily leave a lead behind a lot of times is because number one, they probably don't get it, and number two, you know, we want to make that presentation in person. So again, it's, you know, she gave her business card to the person to give to the manager, and scheduling that call back or finding out that time. So, you know, that's going to happen a lot. Yes, he's in, but he's not available at this moment, and then they ask those questions of why you're there. So you don't need to get into too much detail with the explanation with this person because they aren't the decision maker, but sometimes it's nice to explain a little bit about what you're doing there, and they might be, you know, be more receptive to you being there at that time and giving you the information for the general manager or the owner at that point.
Right, and at this time, sometimes you'll get, oh, well, you don't want to talk to the manager, you're going to want to talk to Rick, the owner. Well, he only comes, you know, he's here once a week on Thursdays. Well, so now I know I'm not coming back on Wednesday 2 to 5 because this is not my decision maker anyway. So they will give you that information too a lot of times.
Yeah. So she didn't need to go through the whole presentation with this person. That's not the person that's going to make the decision, but she was able to kind of cover a little bit about what she's there for and collecting that information. So again, our goal is either to make a presentation, we're going to go into that next introduction next, but gathering information, as much information as you can. Don't need to get their email address at that point, but again, if you can collect that business card, it has all that usually on there, the contact name and when they're going to be in. The last scenario is, hey, we finally got somebody that's actually in, and you're going to run into these two, and then, you know, your first few ones, you're probably going to be a little bit nervous and whatnot, but these are the ones that are really what we're looking for, obviously, and these are the home runs that we want to try and hit. So we just want to prepare ourselves that, you know, number one, if they are in, you're in a restaurant situation, you know that you're there at the right time, identifying that. Make sure that that owner or that manager has time, okay? So what I mean by that is a lot of times you'll go in and he's in and he comes out or she comes out and you know, you feel like, okay, you know, this person doesn't have time for me right now. And he might even tell you that. He say, you know what, I only have about 5 minutes. You don't want to make a presentation up at the host's counter. That's not what we're trying to do. You don't want to be rushed. You want to make sure that you're able to give them the information in a comfortable setting, because the last thing you want to do is be making this presentation when he's not 100% you know, focused and has attention. People are coming in, he has to seat them. So let's just make sure that we understand if they're not available, we want to reschedule and we want to come back. So I'm going to go through this last scenario. This is when they're in and you're able to actually make a presentation.
Hello. Hey, what's going on?
So Rhonda comes in and...
Okay, and what's your name? I mean, I've already met you, right? And you're coming out.
Yep. Hi.
Okay.
My name is David. I'm the manager here. How can I help you today?
Hi, David. My name is Rhonda. I'm with NEXX Solutions, and I work with merchants, businesses, and nonprofits in our area. I'm actually here today to show you a product that we are building right now to help promote our community and your business and give back to nonprofits and help out other customer benefit programs also. Do you have just a few moments or a few minutes to talk?
Yeah, you know what? It's actually a really good time for me. So
Great. Do you mind, can we step over here just a little bit? This way we're out of the way.
Sure, we can go over to this booth over here.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you, first of all, for taking the time. I have to tell you, I'm really excited about this program. Just stopping in today because I do actually already have close to 100 local deals, but I truly believe in giving everybody the opportunity to be on our product too. How it works, and I'm not sure right now if you are doing any type of discount or offers out there already, but how our program works is we are in the process of building the mobile app. The nice thing about mobile compared to print is that at least you will have complete control over your deals. Unlike when we go to print and say you print and they're out there in the world, maybe you're getting a lot coming in and you can't pull those back in. Well, with the mobile app and promoting your business that way, you're able to control that part of it. So at no time is your business ever hurt by our app or anything like that. Just like to tell you that first and foremost. Now, a lot of times we do, like I said, we work with schools, nonprofits, also the businesses. A lot of the businesses now have the employee benefits program plus the customer rewards program. When you look around, they're actually all over. And for some of these companies, it's really hard. It's very expensive, and they're not able to do this. And that's where we step in as NEXX Solutions, and we're able to, like I say, build this mobile app and let the whole community benefit from it while giving back to the nonprofits and charities in our area. I'll show you it quickly if you don't mind. And are you right now doing any discounts out there?
Well, we do our, value pack and things like that. That's probably our main source of advertising, and they usually, have to stay within a certain budget. So, I've almost reached that budget and what I can spend on advertising.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? The great thing about our product too is, we believe in giving back also. So it will not cost you anything to be on our mobile app. We're going to promote your business. So basically, the advertising is free. The only cost to you will be the deal that you're willing to give us. Now, I do have to tell you, too, as I pull up the app here, I'll show you some of the other restaurants that we have. And as I'm pulling that up, I do like to always say, I look for really exclusive deals. Maybe, something that you're not doing on the value pack, something where if this is being sold as a gold membership with our nonprofits as a fundraiser, where the kids can sell it, and when people go to purchase those, they're able to buy something and have depth to it versus just going to their mailbox, and getting all these flyers, and that deal is already out there everywhere in the newspapers and such as that. So I do like going a little bit exclusive. Okay, all right, well, here we are. So these are some of the merchants that we've already signed up, and honestly, only been working about a month on this, so I have to say 100 merchants isn't bad. Looks like we have close to 210 deals.
Wow.
And
So let me ask something, Rhonda. These offers that I'm putting here, who's going to see these? Like, how many are you going to have out there? And you talked about how I can control it. How does that work?
Okay, sure. Well, first of all, I wish I could tell you how many are going to be out there. Unfortunately, I can't. I'm predicting it to be a huge success, so I want to say thousands and thousands, but I don't want that to scare you off either, because as I was talking where you would have control over it, say we do an aggressive deal. We're going to do buy an entree and 2 drinks, get a free entree. We'll put that onto the mobile app, and once it's out there and live, they'll come in, hit redeem, show you what it, show it. But as the day goes on, or even the weeks, if you start feeling like, wow, I've seen a lot of these come in, what you're going to do is within a minute to 2 minutes, you're going to go to your computer. You're able to delete that deal, put a new deal up, or maybe adjust it. Maybe you just want to go in and change buy an entree and 2 drinks and get half off the second entree. So that's where I'm talking, where that's always in your control. And at any time, absolutely, if you feel like there's too many coming in, go and change it. But then on the other spectrum of the whole thing too is that, maybe you're not seeing very many and you're like, gosh, I wonder why I'm not having very many come in. Well, we might want to increase that deal at that point. The other great thing about the mobile app and having control of it is say you do want to do buy an entree, get a free entree, no extra drinks or anything, but you only want 50 out there in the world. Well, we're able to do that too. So that means once 50 people have pushed the redeem button, it is now no longer on anyone's phone. So that's just another way that you can control it also.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to stop real quick here and again, everybody's presentation, this is probably the part of this whole program that everybody's going to probably do differently. And you can tell that Ron's really good at as far as using the most powerful part of the product, and that's the mobile app. And she really qualifies going in there, to the merchant and saying, we already have 100 deals in the area. And as she's doing that, I know that she has that app in her hand, and she's pulling that up, and she's showing them, hey, here's how he's scrolling through, and here's some of the deals on there. If you're going into a restaurant that, might have it's a higher-end restaurant, you might want to show them another higher-end restaurant that's participating on there, and just the types of deals that they're doing, just so they can kind of get comfortable with what this product really is. And comparing the product itself with mobile, having that customer have that product in their hand, pretty much all day long, versus carrying that big coupon book around is something that we always do try and promote. So the sales presentation is just mostly main thing, telling them about what we're doing. We're working with businesses that like themselves. We're offering this up to them to promote their business into the community through our employee benefits program and other businesses out there that might want to use our product, but also the nonprofits and organizations that will be using it as fundraisers. So it's a community-based product that we're putting together. That's kind of a quick presentation, but you're gonna kind of control your own presentation and what are some of the things that you are gonna start feeling like you want to point out. But one of the things that I know Rhonda does a great job is she uses that app. On here we don't recommend using the iPad just because what are people going to be using as a redemption? What are the merchants going to see? They're going to use that phone. So you walking through them with that on your phone is exactly what that manager or those employees are going to see, and that's how it's going to be redeemed for the most part. Okay, so that's the presentation. We walk into where we're at now. So the presentation kind of moves into the closing, and we're going to start on the closing here. And then there's a couple different situations that come up during the close. And one of the situations that I always look at, or some of the qualifiers, is that if they start asking questions, and once they start asking questions, I kind of get the idea that they're interested. If they're not interested, they might just sit there and listen and not say anything, and I'm not really understanding whether or not they get it, or if I'm not presenting something right, or if I'm not hitting a hot button. So if they're asking questions, that's really something that I identify as that, okay, they're interested, and that's good, because then I can kind of start moving them into the close. So we're gonna move into the close here, and I'm just gonna play the merchant part where I've asked some of the questions, and I'm just gonna start from there. I'm gonna ask a few more questions, and then Ron is gonna kind of go into how she closes the deal. All right, Rhonda, well, I get the idea of mobile. This is something that we've never done before. I'm very interested in it. I just have, just a couple more questions. How do I get started? What do I need to do? You say it doesn't cost anything. Is that, all I have to do is give you the deals? What kind of deals are you looking for exactly?
Okay, great. Well, actually, I tell you what, because I am out visiting merchants all the time during the day and getting them signed up, I actually have this form. We have no contracts, okay, so I don't want you to think that it's a contract by any means, but what it is it's the merchant agreement. So let's fill this out, and as we're doing it, I'll kind of tell you about like some of the deals I'm looking for and things like that. But I honestly have to tell you, at the end of the day, I go home and actually build your platform, pull your logo, we're going to put everything in. But it's so much easier for me to have a sheet with the deals already wrote on it. This way it's just kind of an error catch for me too, so that when I'm putting it in, I have everything correct. So right here, this is what we'll do, and then at this point, I get all their information, the address, things like that. Now, for the email, I really want the email to be between you and I. Say, if you have a logo, absolutely, that's great. You can send that to my email address. Otherwise, I do have a flash drive if you just want to put that on there quickly. Do you have a logo?
Yeah, yep, I have a logo. It's actually, something that I use on all my other stuff. I can just email it to you,
Great.
I can back into my office and email it to you when we're done here.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Okay. And then the email address, like I said, I like that. It's just basically corresponds between you and I. I'll use that to also just kind of keep in contact with you, let you know where we're at. And then also at one point I will be sending you the username and password before I come in to visit you and show you how you're going to be able to change your deals. And that'll be in probably about a month. So I'll get your email address.
So what kind of deals do I need to do, Rhonda?
I really like to start with one real aggressive one, and then maybe one that we can do unlimited. So, like I said, I'm not sure can you tell me what the deals that you're running in the value pack?
Well, we do a buy one get one free, and we do that. The value pack comes out once every quarter basically for us, and we do 4 buy one get one frees on there.
Okay, great. So actually, if you don't mind, I will take that one for the more aggressive one. That's because it does open up the opportunity, where it doesn't limit it to a certain meal or anything. They have a choice, and I do love that one. So if you don't mind, we'll absolutely put the one buy an entree, get an entree free. And as I've been talking, I have the mobile app. We'll put it up on the mobile app, but we also do an online offer too. And why I asked to have it online also is because we know it's only about 83% of people have smartphones, and I never like to leave out Grandma and Grandpa or all those people out there with Blackberries, right? This way, they're able to print it off at home, and it's not on their smartphone. Is that okay to go ahead and do the online offer also?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. Okay, and I just want to let you know too that we do have restrictions. We have the terms and conditions on every one. I kind of showed you when I showed you the mobile app where those were at. Sometimes some of my merchants like to add a little something extra, such as maybe you only want one to be used per table. If a group of 10 people come in, where only one is able to use that at the table. Is that something you would like to restrict, or are we okay with if everyone would use it?
I just need to make sure, here's the coupon that we do, if it can be worded exactly the way that it is on the value pack.
Oh, yes.
Offer.
Absolutely. Love that. That helps a lot. Yes. And then what I'll do is I'll put it in. You say you put it out every quarter, and they're 4 per quarter. How about if we run it that it can be used 2 times a month? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. Okay. And then now for your not so aggressive one, one of the things that people really enjoy too, and I know it's always good once we cut open a pie to be able to sell the rest of the pie. So would you mind doing buy 2 entrees and get a free dessert? And maybe we could just put that up unlimited where they could use that every day, if they would come in every day, which I guess you wouldn't mind, would you?
Well, one of the offers that we like to do, for the most part, is a 5 off 25. That seems to work out pretty well on some of the other things that we've done. I'd be willing to do something like that. It's pretty easy. It's something that we know gets a lot of action.
Perfect. Okay. So, and that's okay if I run that unlimited where they could use it every day if they came in?
Okay. So you kind of got the idea, and as far as qualifying when that merchant's starting to ask those questions, you're understanding that they're pretty much in, and it's up to you to kind of direct them where to go. And pulling out the agreement, that's one way to get started. Just saying, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you set up with your offers today. Obviously, you're not going to do these for a while because we, number one, are out in the community contacting businesses, and that takes about a month to 2 months, and before we actually get members going. So you're not going to see these right away. I'm going to get you in the system. We're going to set you up, get your logo. We're going to set you up with your offers, and then I will be back to and sit down with you about our employee benefits program and getting your employees on this, educated on the system and in our membership, and also show you how to change your offer. So don't worry. It's not like we're going to put you on here today. It's going to be up tomorrow, and you're going to start seeing these, right away. We want to make sure that we're upfront with them about that. One of the last things too, I always, when I get everything signed, it's like, hey, Ron did a great job with explaining that, this is an agreement. This is what like Paul talked about on the call last week. This is what we need filled out. We want to make sure that the offer is exactly how you want it worded, is exactly how you want it redeemed. We're looking for the unlimited offer, something that people can use once a day, but we're also looking for that more aggressive offer where maybe it's a restricted offer that is weekly, monthly, how they want to do that as far as a more of aggressive offer. So we're looking for 2 quality offers from that merchant. The next scenario is part of the close where I think, and you're going to see a lot and you're going to get a lot, is like, yeah, I want to participate, but I don't know what I want to do. Can you come back? Okay, so can you come back is a lot. It's something that happens a lot out there. So I'm gonna play that scenario out with Rhonda, and I'm just gonna pretend like, hey, I want to be a part of this, but I don't know what I want to do right now. So Rhonda, this sounds great. I really don't know what I want to do yet, but I definitely want to do something. Is there any way that you can stop back?
Absolutely, I can stop back. But you know what, before I go, if you don't mind, I tell you what, I work with a lot of merchants, and I'll tell you, a lot of times, one of the ones that people really enjoy is the 5 off 25. If we would even just do that, set up another meeting, but I could at least maybe take that offer from you today if you're comfortable with that, and then I will set up your platform tonight and we'll get it going. Remember, we're going to be able to change this at any time, but at least it'll give me that time to set up the platform. And when I come back in a couple days, I'll be able to show you how great it looks. And if we want to change that deal at that point, we can. And then if you come up with other ideas, I will take those at that time too. So would you like to get started with that?
Yeah, that's fine. If you're going to come back, we can at least get something on there and get set up now. I want to participate. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And in that scenario, you have 2 options here. You can obviously schedule a time to come back, or you can kind of do what you just talked about as far as, hey, how about we do this? This is something that most other restaurants like yours or they're similar to yours are doing to get started. Again, I will be back. At that point, we have time to really kind of sit down and monitor your offer. But, obviously me going out and seeing as many merchants as I have to see, getting them set up on the program, is the first initial commitment that we're looking for. The offers, obviously, we can adjust and change when I come back to see you in a month. So at least you're getting them locked in, getting the paperwork filled out, and you're eliminating that callback. That's kind of what you're trying to accomplish here. The last part is that they're in, they like it, it's the manager, he loves it, absolutely wants to participate, but has to talk it over with his owner or partner, or in some cases their wives or husbands. So this is the scenario that plays out where I'm in, I want to do something, but I can't make the decision. Rhonda, this sounds great. I want to do this, but I have the decision making. The final decision making is the owner, and I need to talk to him first.
That's fine. Absolutely. I tell you what day would work well for you? If I come back on Thursday, do you think that would give you long enough to get with your partner and go over the program with them? And also keep in mind, if it's something that you'd like me to talk to them too, I can absolutely do that. How long do you think?
Today's Monday. I'm not going to see him until probably Wednesday. I'm not sure that'll give me enough time. Is there any way you could come back the following Monday?
Absolutely. I'll be back Monday. Does morning or afternoons work better for you?
I would probably say, right about this time is a good time to come back.
Perfect. I will be back Monday at this time. And remember, here's my card. If you do have any questions, or if your partner has any questions that maybe we didn't talk about, feel free to shoot me an email, text, call me. I actually am around all the time. So I will see you on Monday. Thanks for your time.
All right, you bet. Okay, so that last scenario happens a lot as well. You're gonna go through the whole process, and the manager gets it, and he wants to do it, but he has to get approval. One thing that she's really good at is she's actually setting that time up. Instead of saying, here's my card, contact me when you get the approval, and then I can come back in. But setting up that appointment to actually say, hey, I'll be back in this area on Thursday. Is that going to work for you? Yes or no, that day will work. If not, then you just pick another day and you say, I will be back during this time. Does this work for you? So that, you kind of put on them to get this thing done, and eliminates another callback that you would have to make. So setting that appointment up is key for you.
Well,
So
one thing I do want to add, David, is that, when I go in and I talk to these merchants, and it's probably because I have talked and spoke with so many, is that, my approach is probably a little bit more softer approach. I do not go in, for, like, say, the kill. I'm very sympathetic to their time, to just what they have going on. You will not believe how many merchants I have talked to that say that salespeople will come in, first of all, we already talked about this, but during their busiest time. Or else if, and merchants a lot will have to get up from our conversation to help someone. And you always need to be, and put them almost, I hate to say it, but almost up on a pedestal where, we are going to cater to them right now, because honestly, without these merchants, wow, we wouldn't have a product. So I really do, I really do kind of baby them, or, certainly treat them with utmost respect, and never really pushy or anything like that.
That's a great point. So you're obviously catering to their time, being respectful with that, not wanting to be too pushy, but yet you want to kind of create some urgency. Obviously, you're trying to see as many merchants as you can during the day, and eliminating those callbacks is huge when you get out there and you get out in the field and you're seeing as many as you can. You want to eliminate those second, third, or fourth callbacks, and that's the goal here. So those are the different closes. One thing I wanted to add into this a little bit with the agreement, guys, we don't have to make a huge deal out of the agreement. It's just like when they start giving you those signals that they want to do something, you just pull that out and you say, I'm just going to start getting some information from you. You start filling it out. Here's some sample offers that maybe you would like to try, giving them some ideas, and they're either going to say, yeah, that sounds great, or, what, how about this offer? Getting their offer written down. She did talk about the online. One thing that we want to make sure is that we want them to understand that, we don't need to cover this completely, but we're selling the mobile. That's going to be what's going to be, used mostly. But we also have an online option. So you basically just need to kind of brush through that a little bit. That there is an online option for people to print off if they don't have a mobile phone. So again, it's just style, guys. This isn't, I don't expect everybody to be like this, and it's harder to role play probably than it is sometimes to actually make the presentation in person. So this isn't perfected, by any means. one last thing, I always ask for referrals, and I think Bob talked about it just a little bit earlier. You know, some of these guys, you know, they know other restaurant owners, they know other people, even though they might be competitors, they still know other people that own a business and whatnot. I always just say, hey, you know, I'm seeing merchants in the area. If you have any friends or other business partners who might want to do something, a lot of them have different locations. Okay, that's another thing. They might own other businesses, so we want to make sure that we ask that at the end of the close. So those are the three scenarios: the intro, the presentation, and the close. We're right at about 45 minutes. There has been some questions come up and some comments, and I guess we're just going to open it up now to some of those questions. And Brad, if you want to.
Yeah. Hey, David and Rhonda, when you're in, so as you were role playing, getting the offer, how much time does this typically take to get it done? So Rhonda, I'm in there. I got all the buying signals. I'm going through what we do. Guy says, yes, let's do it. How long does it typically take to fill out the paperwork and move things forward?
Boom, 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 10 minutes, in and out.
Okay.
It's just that easy.
Perfect. So you're 10 to 20 minutes tops with a merchant to walk through the program, explain it, get their deals, and move forward if all the buying signals line up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think a lot of it, you know, goes with, you know, what we talked about earlier, identifying where you're at with this person. Are they the decision maker? Okay, so you've identified, yes, this person can authorize this program. You know, are they asking questions? So once they start asking those questions, then it's like get that agreement out, and let's just start getting them signed up. Because if at some point they're like, whoa, wait a minute, and I got to talk this over with my owner or whatever. I can't authorize that. Then you'll know, you know. But if you don't pull out that agreement and start filling it out, you know, you're not going to know. So it eliminates some of that confusion of whether or not, okay, is this person the guy that can sign off on this or not? Because, you know, that's ultimately what we're trying to find out.
Perfect.
Well, and don't leave the agreement with them. If you do not get your deals, you know, they want to sign the agreement and say, oh, I'm just going to send you something. No.
Yep. Yeah. Scheduling time to come back if we have to do that. If that's a scenario that happens, it's like, you know what, I can't sign this today. I have to get approval from my owner. Then it's like, okay, that's when she went through the scenario of setting up a time to come back.
That's awesome. Okay. Guys, any other questions you have?
I think Bill made a good comment on here. Everybody's different in their style, and you know, I'm not real pushy, but I do have, you know, I do kind of go in there with confidence and the fact that I'm promoting something to them of value that is going to help their business, and that's why I'm there, and that's what I'm showing them. And this is something brand new, and it's very exciting that nobody else really out there is doing it, and we have something different. We have a complete system. We're going over the CMA brochure. If we need that tool to use, or if you know it by heart, that's what you want to make sure that you're explaining to them. We have a turnkey system for your business to promote to the community. We have other businesses that are out there that are going to want to use our product, and then also we have that tie-in to the community through fundraisers and organizations. So if you can just pick out some main key points that you want to make sure that you're addressing in that presentation. But the main thing is what we're trying to do is show them that product, and actually that's what we're there for, is that app and to get those deals. So and any other questions or comments? Bill, do you have anything else? I mean, you obviously, you know a lot about merchants too, and you have a different style than probably what I do and Rhonda, so.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a great exercise to go through. I mean, one thing that I've always done in my early days of selling anything is, and I commented on the notes, is I get my pitch down and I give that pitch to everybody. I don't care if it's the guy mopping the floors. because those assistant managers a lot of times are they're the ones putting the 60 hours in, you know, and they're sometimes very influential in that manager's decision. And so if you have the time to sell that assistant manager and give them clarity on what you're doing, what you're offering, after you leave, that assistant manager, I mean, I've gone back to merchants where the guy was closed when I got back there because I had the time to talk to the assistant manager long enough where he understood or she understood it, and they're like, no, we want to do that card, or I even get a call back from them, we want to do that offer because I treated that assistant manager just like they were any other customer. I think sometimes we can look for the decision maker, and sometimes we blow off some of these other people that are entrenched in that business every day, that if they think, hey, that guy was a jerk, or this person, I didn't understand it, they have a way of kind of disqualifying us or pre-qualifying us for the close when we go back in. And so I think that's a really important aspect for us to go into these merchants, like everybody's going to know about this because I'm here, it's my job. And then, you know, you get really good at it through that kind of repetitive, I call it the elevator speech, but in 30 seconds being able to explain who I am, what I'm doing, and what the benefit is to your business.
That's a great point. And, you know, a lot of times when that owner or manager isn't in and you're talking to that assistant manager and they look at that and you're showing them the app, you know, they're like, wow, this is really cool. This is really neat. I think they would be very interested in this, you know, and like Bill said, using, you know, your confidence with that assistant manager, whoever it is, if it's, you know, the server or whoever you're talking to, but, you know, obviously they're going to give that person your business card and they're going to say, hey, you got to take a look at this thing, or, you know, if you're going in there with that same mentality and that same presentation, you know, to that person that greets you, it just helps you when you have to come back.
Yeah, versus some sales guy stopped in today and here's his card.
Right, exactly. So, well, if there's no more questions, I just want to kind of recap, you know, what we tried to do today is we want to just try and present to you just certain scenarios that you're going to run into. Number one, you know, finish that target list. Make sure that you have that completed and set up before you go out. We're going to finish here in just a second with a daily activity scorecard that I received yesterday. And, you know, make sure you have that presentation down so that, you know, you all understand what we are promoting here. And that's just so important. I can't stress that enough. If you have a chance, get on your app, you know, maybe today or over the weekend, and type in 57106 is a zip code that Rhonda has, and you can kind of scroll through there and see some of the offers that she's generated. Obviously, there's some access deals on there too, but you know, you can look and see, you know, just that there's a lot of businesses on there that are doing multiple offers. You can kind of get an idea of, like, you know, what kind of offers that she's getting. So you know, you can at least use that tool to just kind of research a little bit what you're trying to look for, and then. Brad, if you want to pull up Eric's
Sure.
activity scorecard, we'll just kind of finish with that.
Okay. Here you go, David.
Yeah.
Can everybody see?
Can you guys all see that?
Yes.
Okay. So Eric sent me this from yesterday, and this was Eric's first day out in the field. And so you know, we were obviously getting started with the daily activity reporting and the weekly. And this is something that we're very adamant about, to score every day and share it with the group. And so this is something that I would like to see starting to get emailed to me and Brad at the end of each day. You know, and you can just kind of go through and see what he's done here. You know, and going into, I think there's like 12 or 13 merchants. He didn't get started until, you know, 1 o'clock, so he worked 3.5 hours. But he got into, you know, 12. We're trying to get to 20, so he's going to get better at that. But you can kind of look and just see how he gets this out. It's exactly what we're looking for. And you can see the note column here that he put in here, just explaining, you know, the situation for each one of those merchants. And this is for you, This is for your benefit so that you can organize your day, and using that activity scorecard in your planner and writing that in there and then transferring it however you need to electronically to send to myself and Brad so we can take a look at this information and we can kind of figure out and help people like in certain situations that they're running into. So this is exactly what we're looking for from the group. And then obviously the end of the week stuff as well so that we can start generating a scoreboard, so to speak, for this group. So I really appreciate Eric going out and doing that yesterday and sending that in last night. And then lastly, at the end of your day, this is part of your day, is going in and filling this out and organizing your day and getting yourself set up for the next day. Obviously, the things that Ron and I talked about yesterday is that you can keep setting up your day for the next day. So, obviously you can put in maybe 10 new merchants you're going to see, but you might have 10 callbacks you need to make the next day, so then you can add those in as well. So that's part of your 20 is some of those callbacks that you need to make. So you're filling this out for the day, and then also getting started on the activity scorecard for the following day. And then any type of CMA agreement that you get in, Rhonda enters them in right in there that night, okay, so that it's done. And the important part of that is that getting into that habit of doing that so that you're not getting behind on that stuff. If you have 10, 15 CMA agreements that you need to get in and cramming it in, at the end of the week, we want to make sure we get these inputted into the system so that they're in there, they're done correctly. That's part of our role as the customer service rep is to enter those in. And if you have any questions on that, Paul, will be the one to talk to. So that is it.
Perfect, guys. Thanks, everybody, for being on the call. We'll look forward to doing more of these, and as we get more feedback from the field, we'll address those things. And again, this is part of everything we're doing is to really drive this experience. So, guys, as you're out there and you're facing challenges, you got to let us know. What are those difficulties? There's people that's, Ron has already done this. Bill, David, they've done this for 18-plus years. They know what this looks like, so they're here to help. So if you're facing obstacles and you feel like you're banging your head against the wall, stop. Don't do that anymore. Send an email to David. Get Rhonda's number. Call them. That's what they're there to help you guys get through these things. They'll take these objections, these concerns, and then we'll come up with a training module to really help everyone, because if you're experiencing it, chances are someone else is experiencing the same call. So let's just share together, guys, work hard, and we're going to continue to build this module, this whole training, and everything that we're all doing together is going to make it much easier as we duplicate this in the future. So again, communication is everything we're asking, and really just really appreciate your help and being on the call. David, Rhonda, thank you guys so much for putting the time in to formalize this and get this out. And we'll put this recording, guys, on the training platform. I know there's actually a script. Hey, Bill. There's actually a script, guys, that Rhonda has actually created that we'll go ahead and put on there as well, just so you guys can see it. And again, I think one of the things that Bill said, make this your own. Guys, you have to practice success. This better be in your mind and just be able to get out there and make it work. So thanks, everybody, for being on the call, and we will be sending some communication out. I'm sure we'll have a call next week, and I'll get with David, and we'll schedule that and get that in everybody's calendar for next week. Thanks again. We'll talk to everybody next week.
Dave, are you still on?